Irvin here with the Speaker Lab, and I am excited to be back with you all in this ongoing series that we're doing with our alumni, with our graduates, with our incredible speakers here at the Speaker Lab. This episode and every episode is where we grab a real speaker who is walking the same road you are, and they might just be a handful of steps ahead of you, right? It's pretty normal. That's who we learn from. That's how we learn, and then we find out exactly what they're doing. And today's guest is building his speaking business out of Tulsa, and he just crossed the line every speaker dreams about. His first paid gig is signed and on the calendar. And here's what I love. He will tell you the thing that got him there was not a tactic. It was a decision he made inside his own head. We're going to dive more into that. Marcus Dove, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you having me. I am so excited to be here and kind of share my story. And hopefully us talking today in our conversation can help somebody else in the TSL program, you know?
100%. I know it will, actually. I have no doubt that it will.
Thank you. I know it will, too.
Awesome. Before we touch on the business side of anything, give me the kind of high level, I refer to it as the kind of the coffee shop version of your message. Like when you step in front of a room, what are you there to tell them and connect with them on?
In a sense, I'm there to help the athletes and the coaches I'm there to help the coaches and the programs turn their talented athletes into consistent performers under pressure. And I help do that by helping them master the mental side of sports. And so that's kind of the area where I dive in and kind of help these athletes on the mental side of sports.
I love it. Now, give the audience kind of a little bit of a sneak peek, or maybe just a little bit on your background. What qualifies you to work with these athletes? Brag on yourself a little bit, Marcus. Go ahead.
I don't really like doing this, but since you insisted, I'll go ahead. I have played basketball my entire life. When people ask me, what are your accomplishments, or what provides you to be able to speak to people like this, I say, I've done this for 30 years of my life. And I went to Oklahoma State, played high-level basketball there, went to a Final Four. I won Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Then I played overseas for 16 years in 6 different countries. And so I have pretty much been there, done it, seen it all, from the highs of the highs to the lows of the lows in my career and my story. And so I use stories and things that I've been through in my career to be able to help these athletes and help them avoid some of the pitfalls that I went through during my career.
All right, all the Oklahoma State basketball fans out there, you know who to reach out to. You can't see him if you get a video version of this. He is throwing up the Oklahoma State signs. I love it.
Yes, sir.
And
go Pokes.
Go Pokes. You said the Big 12 defensive player, and I was going to say 1 year. No. I think it was 2 years. I love it.
2 in a row. Yes, sir.
In a row. I didn't actually know it was in a row. That is amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's continue to brag on you for a minute, because you've had some real movement lately that all of us here at the Speaker Lab are very excited for you. And your first paid speaking gig is locked in, like contract signed, date on the calendar. It's coming up here pretty soon, in about a month's time. Take us back. Like, how did that one come together from the first contact all the way to the signature? And that process, share that with us.
Absolutely. I was sending out cold emails, and I was getting a lot of non-responses and some rejections. And some of it was kind of dejecting, if I'm being honest, but I just kept plugging away and kept plugging away. And I had a conversation with Corinne, and that kind of turned the table for me, because I was kind of reaching out to coaches and things of that matter. And she was like, well, let's focus on athletic directors. And so I started focusing on athletic directors. And literally 2 days later, I got a response from an athletic director who was interested in me coming in to speak. And so we went back and forth on an email. And about 5 days later, or about 5 to 7 days later, I had it locked in, and my first speaking engagement was locked in. So I credit Corinne with helping me kind of shift my focus on that.
Oh my goodness. I knew some of that. I didn't know the details of it. So obviously Corinne is one of the coaches here at the Speaker Lab that
Yeah.
you worked with. I didn't know the timeline of that. And so you were, what you just mentioned there, I think people need to hear it clearly. Like you were following the process, you were doing the outreach, you were connecting, but it doesn't sound like you were connecting with the right people, the right individuals
Right.
for you, specifically for you and the message that you give. And we were able, what we do here at the Speaker Lab, obviously we were able to coach you and kind of pivot that ever so slightly. I mean, it wasn't massive pivot, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it wasn't massive at all. It was literally just changing my focus of who I was reaching out to.
Yeah. And then you said it. This is the part I did not know. 2 days after starting that pivot, you got a response. 5 days later, so a week after pivoting, you had a deal on the books.
Absolutely. And I immediately reached out to Corinne and was like, thank you so much. Our conversation helped so much. And so, and I want to tell everybody in the program, it literally can happen that fast. You know, you
Yeah.
can be you can be doing all the work, doing all the emails, and you can maybe change one little thing, and it can completely change how you're getting responses.
I love it. I knew the part because Corinne. Anytime we have successes like that with our students, with our graduates, with our alumni, the whole team celebrates. So internally, that we share those with everyone. And so
Right.
I knew the overall story. I didn't know the details of it. That's so awesome. I'm so excited
Yeah.
for you.
Thank you.
Now, in that process, I want to sit in this next part for a little bit because in our preparation, what you told me here is kind of what I really want people to really hear on top of the successes you've had. Like you said, shifting your mindset was a big change for you. Like emails going out, nothing coming back, and it used to bother you. What did that old version look like day to day when you were just like going through the
Uh,
motions?
it was the end of the day looked hard. You know, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty down on myself, and I was, I have a kind of athletic mindset that not much kind of gets me down. I kind of like to push through everything, and
hmm
but this was a different version of that for me that I hadn't really went through yet. And so I'm sending out the emails, I'm doing the work, I'm following the process, and I'm not really getting any responses. And so by the end of the day, I'm like, well, am I doing this right? Or imposter syndrome kind of sets in. Am I really
totally.
built for this? And so I just want to say, keep plugging away, keep trusting the process, keep doing the work, and the work will always show in the end.
Totally. You actually brought it up. I was gonna say, as an athlete, you're not, you're used to, I should say, you're used to putting in the reps, putting in the work,
Yeah,
putting in the training, putting in the time, and knowing that consistency is the key,
yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
consistency of the preparation. But I can also understand there's also, if you're consistent in the day to day, but you're running in the wrong direction and you
Yeah,
don't even know it, that can be pretty frustrating.
absolutely. It can definitely be frustrating, and so I just had to refocus my
Totally.
thoughts and the things that I was doing. And once I did that and started running in the right direction, I mean, obviously, I got my first paid speaking gig soon after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, one of the other things that you mentioned too. So once things started moving in the right direction and started putting some pieces together, one of the other things you mentioned is that you also, as just a structural part of the business, your business, you brought in a CRM to really help things move along, a simple system for tracking everyone that you reach out to. I'm curious, since you brought this up in our preparation, like for the person listening who's running their outreach off of memory or sticky notes, like what did having a real system change for you in your business?
Uh, Dan, to be honest, having a CRM changed everything for me. I was one of those people who was like, well, I'll just go off memory and I'll be able to remember the emails as they come in or following up. But the CRM really helped me dive in and focus on what I needed to do. And so every day I had a plan. I woke up, I saw the emails I had to do, I saw the follow ups I had to do, and before I had the CRM, I wasn't really following up like that. I would send the initial email and then I would be
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'll get to it in a couple weeks. Not
Mm.
realizing how those add up and how I can easily lose track of those follow-up emails. And so having a CRM really helped me streamline the whole process. It has been a lifesaver for me. And it honestly is the biggest thing that changed how I prepare for my day-to-day power hour.
Yeah. The day-to-day running of your business, right? The
Yeah,
day-to-day
exactly.
knowing, like coming in knowing, okay, here's what I need to do to progress the business instead of just trying to kind of guessing. It takes the
Exactly.
guesswork out of it, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of the other things too that I love that you brought up, and then we'll pivot here in just a moment, but you had to learn how to write up a speaking agreement, like going back and forth with the person booking you before you really kind of nailed it down. You called that nerve-wracking, actually, like
Yes.
in itself, right? Like, so I guess the question I have for you, and maybe some of it was the coaching that we helped you with, but what do you know about that process now that you wish you'd known kind of in the beginning when you're at the start of that?
I wish I had known that when they come back to you with a counter or they're not happy with the initial proposal, it's not the end of the world,
Right,
right? I
right.
thought once they did that, the deal was dead. I was like, I've lost the deal. There's nothing I could do. And I went back into negative mode, right? And it was really just an easy fix. It was just something very small that I just fixed in the proposal that we were both comfortable with, right? And that got the deal back on, and we were back having our normal conversation about it. And we got the deal done within 24 hours of that happening. And so I wish I had told myself, or I would have known that just because there's a snag in the deal early doesn't mean the
Mhm.
deal is dead. You are able to work around that if both parties are willing to.
I love it, Marcus. You are such an incredible example, I think, of something that I talk about all the time, that I'm coaching on all the time, is that you talked about having a system, so the CRM, how that's changed things, and then having this mindset that it's just because you've got some hurdles and some things that are happening, that's not the end of the road. It's just you got to work through it. And the what I love about both sides of that is, again, what we talk a lot about here is that having one or the other, having the right mindset's great, but you've got to have the system. Having the system is great, but you got to have the right mindset. And when you combine those two, which is what you are doing, it almost becomes rocket fuel. Like it just really starts taking off, and you're doing such an incredible work in that. And so congratulations on
Thank
those
you.
successes.
Thank you, Dan. And if I may,
Yeah.
what I talk about is the mindset, right?
Tell
In
us.
my keynotes. And so it's forced me to be able to practice what I preach in a sense.
That's
And
right.
I always kind of did it, but this has forced me to really dive in and look deep at the things that I speak about and having to practice exactly what I'm preaching.
Isn't that such an interesting perspective? Because this is actually very normal in the speaking space. Like what we actually speak on and are so passionate about and so excited about to help other people, oftentimes is the medicine that we need.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
And
part
you
of
don't
that
know
is
it until you
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. You don't know it until you get in the thick of it, right? And then
That's
you're
right.
like, well, I actually talk about this. This is something in my actual speech.
100%. We're so focused, and part of it, I think, is just that we're so focused on being selfless, right? Helping
Right,
others. And
right.
I think a lot of speakers come with that mindset, with that heart, with that feeling like they want to have impact, they want to connect. But sometimes the best way that we can have impact on other people is starting with us.
Absolutely. That is a great way to put it, Dan. Great way.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, all right. Now let's get to my favorite stretch of these episodes. I get to ask you, and I asked you earlier, kind of what do you want to open up? What do you want to focus on? And you gave me a couple honest responses. Let's see if we can get to all of them. But the first one is that your event is coming up. At the
Yes.
time of this recording, it's coming up, your first paid stage. So when you picture walking out there, what is that nervous voice actually saying to you when you picture that?
That nervous voice is probably telling me, don't mess it up.
Mm,
But that I also have the positive voice in me that's saying you have worked for this, you are built for this, you have prepared for this, and so you're gonna go out there, you're gonna crush it, and you're gonna do great. And so that's more what I'm focused on. And even in my keynotes, I talk about being nervous, right? And I feel like if you're nervous about something, that means you care about something. That means you're doing something that you love. You're doing something that you're purpose for. So that nervousness is part of it, right?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I was actually, I'm not even making this up, Marcus. I was literally about to say, when we get those nerves, it's because we're passionate. We care. Like
Right.
we
Right.
want to connect with the audience in a real way. One of the things you mentioned there is that you've done the work. You're prepared. I'm sure that you're going to continue to have some kind of preparation work. Share kind of your process in that. What has been the preparation for you going into this? What are some of the things that you have done or will continue to do?
Um, One of the things that I've done is actually video record myself giving the speech in
Okay.
my home. And
Okay.
as cringy as it is to watch myself back on video and hear my voice and all those things, I've done that about, oh gosh, maybe 30 to 40 times at least.
Okay.
Um, and change the and see what I like, what I don't like, what I want to add, what I want to take out. And so, video recording myself doing the speech over and over has really been part of my preparation. I've gone out and done a couple of free gigs at local high schools around my
Hmm.
area just to kind of get some groundwork in. But I think the main thing was videotaping myself doing the speeches in my home and rewatching them for tape. It's like as an athlete, you play a game, you watch game film, right, to see what you
That's
did
right.
wrong, to see what you did right. And so I just use that as my game film to see what I've done wrong and see what I've done right.
I love that. That's not something that I have done, but I know a lot of people have. And to your point, that aligns with how you have been trained, how you've grown, how you've gotten better in your past. And so utilizing things that have worked for you before is a great way to integrate into this. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah,
Some of the other things that I've heard is like, some of the things I do is kind of the opening. I rehearse the opening, right? To feel
right.
very comfortable with that opening. One of the other fun things I do is I usually get in the day before, and I'll go and see the room. Do you think you might be able to? You're going to do that, or have you done that
I
before?
might. I haven't done it before. I might be able to. That is something I will ask, and when I have the pre-call
Yeah,
with the athletic director. Yeah,
yeah. It's a great way just to visualize, where you're going to be.
hmm
But I love the video that you're doing. That's actually a good takeaway for people out there wondering, okay, how can I really rehearse and practice and get prepped? Video yourself and watch it
video
back.
yourself. Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. All right. Then the other one, here's the big one. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, you came up through the Speaker Lab program. So you are surrounded, you've been surrounded by speakers kind of at different stages, at every stage, including people already stacking paid gigs. And one of the things you told me is that it can make you feel behind or not good enough. Right? When does that
Absolutely.
hit
Yeah.
you the hardest? Like, tell me a little bit about that, because I think other people feel that as well.
Yeah, I think it kind of hit me the hardest in the group sessions.
Yeah.
When we get together as groups and people have questions or they're talking about what they're doing or we're going over their websites, right, in the group sessions. And so seeing that when I was just getting started, seeing that was kind of dejecting. Well, they're way ahead of me, or they already got their website. I'm barely
Mm.
here. And comparison is a thief of joy, right?
Mm,
And
that's
so
right.
it's hard not to compare yourself, and everybody's on their own journey, but you have to trust in where you are in your journey and know that eventually, if you keep putting in the work, you're going to get there, right? And use that as inspiration. Like, I'm sure those people where I wanted to be are putting in the work. And if I follow that same process and put that work in, I will be there, right? And so once I changed my mindset to comparison, to be like, okay, I'm happy for them. I'm proud of them. They've worked through the steps, they've worked through the process, and they've gotten there. If I do the same, I can get to that exact same spot.
100%. 100%. I think the biggest difference, a couple things I love that you said there that came to mind while you were talking about that. One, every one of those individuals were where you were at one point, or where
Right.
you are at one point, right? We all were, every one of us, and they had somebody that they were looking at, right?
Right. Right. Exactly.
And chasing. I actually still have mentors that I talk to regularly that are 3, 4, 10 steps ahead of me. And I joke with them. I'll tell them, I'm like, hey, I just need you to know I appreciate you being a target for me,
Right.
that I'm continuously working towards. And I also like that idea of being the thief of joy, right?
Yes.
And knowing that we're all running our own race, we're all on our own journey, right? And we can be happy for other people. I mean, someone else's booked calendar is good information. It's not a verdict on us.
Exactly.
Right. And so good.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
knew I wanted you to have the opportunity to share a little bit about the mindset piece of it, which you did, because I know that's what you talk on and what
Right.
you work on a lot. So very good. Again, I'm so excited for you, so pumped for you. And you mentioned earlier, like, if I just follow that process, I will have those successes as well. You're having those successes.
And it's actually happening. And so
Actually happening. That's right.
It's working. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. All right. So before we wrap things up here, Marcus, one of the things that, as you know, I love doing towards the end of these sessions, these episodes, is kind of this rapid fire, this lightning round, if you will. And I have not, I say this every time, and you can just confirm with everyone, Marcus, I have not prepared you for these, have I?
He has not. I have not heard anything, any questions, nothing.
Okay. And it's meant to be fun. It's just gut answers and easy, hopefully easy, just fun things. So, all right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get to it.
Let's go. I know you don't buckle under the pressure. You're used to it. You're a competitor. You're used to
I'm
this.
ready
All right.
for it.
Yeah. All right. So, morning of the big talk. So your gig coming up here next month. The morning of or the before the event. How do you prep? Music or silence? I think I know the answer. I have a good guess on this.
I say music.
I knew that was going to be my guess. I don't know why. I was thinking basketball and prep and like hearing the.
I'm a music guy. I like to get hyped up before the gig. You know.
Hyped up. Yeah, for sure. I love it. Okay. Next one. This one might be a little bit more difficult. Your message in 3 words.
Oh. It might be a little more. Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Be comfortable being.
I gave you 4.
That's 4.
I gave you 4.
We'll take it. We'll accept it.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
All right. Here's the next one. One habit that protects your mindset when you're working through the process and maybe you're not seeing the immediate results. Like what's a habit that you use to protect that mindset when maybe the inbox gets quiet?
I think discipline, working out. I think working out, going to work out, getting my mind off it, that really helps me. And then I can come back to it fresh after that.
Love it. I love it. All right. Finish this sentence and take a second with it if you need it, because you have lived this one. All right. You've lived this one. So you told me the no's and the silence used to eat at you before the shift, before the mindset shift. We talked about this a little bit earlier. So finish this sentence. A no from a client really means.
A no from a client really means not right now. It might not be the right time, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it that way, that will help lessen maybe the hurt or the pain, because a no isn't just a no. It might be a not right now. It might be this isn't the time. We might not have the budget, and so you got to think of other things that no might mean instead of just an absolute no.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not an indictment on you.
Right.
It's just a not yet, maybe. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, cool. All right. Before we wrap, leave the room with one thing. Like if a listener does just one thing differently after hearing your story, your background, your experience, what should it be?
Um, Man, I think I said it before. I'm a big believer in be comfortable being uncomfortable because um, growth comes in uncomfortability, right? If you don't step outside your comfort zone, if you don't step outside your norm, growth doesn't happen. And so try to do something different. Try to push yourself to a limit you haven't been pushed to, and try to do things you wouldn't normally do because you never know what that result can be, and you never know how far that can get you.
I love that. And you are a prime example of that exact phrase, like push yourself, do the uncomfortable thing. Like if it's not working, like ask the questions, get the help, figure out
Absolutely.
what does work. I love it. All right. Well, Marcus, tell people where to find you, wherever you want them to go to follow the journey or to bring you in to speak. Let them know where to find you.
All right, Marcus Dove. I'm on all social medias as Marcus A. Dove. My website is marcusadove.com. So you really have no excuse because it's all Marcus A. Dove, right? So easy to find me, Marcus A. Dove, on all socials, websites. It's been a pleasure, Dan. Thank you so much for bringing me in, man. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure to have you here. So Marcus A. Dove, that's Dove is his last name. Go check him out, look him up, connect with him. Thank you for this one, Marcus. And I'll tell you what, your event next month, it's going to be an incredible day. I'm excited to hear how it goes. I know it's going to go fantastic. So
Thank you, Dan. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Hey, out there, if you're listening, here's what I want you to take from Marcus. All right. He did not land his first paid gig because the no's stopped coming. He landed it because he decided the no's didn't get a vote anymore, right? He built a simple system, kept sending it, and kept his eyes on his own lane. So listen to me. If the silence has been getting to you, hear him. Hear what Marcus said. Silence is not a verdict. Keep it pushing and get to the next batch. All right. Listen, this is it for this one. I'm Dan Irvin here on the Speaker Lab podcast. This has been our Alumni Spotlight. So excited to have you here. Go do the brave thing this week, and I will see you next time here on the Speaker Lab podcast.